reported on people and their work and not rock and roll. Or at least not until I hooked up with one of the hottest touring rock and roll groups in the country. I was curious to see what their jobs were like. I wanted to see some of the enthusiasm, the excitement, and the glamour of rock and roll. Well, tonight you're going to meet that group, and you're going to see how their music has turned them into a phenomenal success.
After we had taken some lessons, it was just before Steve, Herbie walks in and said, "You guys want to get a lead vocalist, somebody to stand in the front and just sing?" We all looked at each other and said, "Sure."
You've somewhat admitted to having been burned out during the Santana experience. This has got to be just as tough, but what's different? And is there anything built into this situation to prevent you from burning out again?
I think one of the main things, there was no management to speak of.
Have to face a decision that they want to bring in a new singer, Steve Perry.
We had taken the music as far as it was going, doing a lot of chops, a lot of playing. It was a lot of playing, and a different format. It wasn't as song-oriented. And we decided that it would be time. It's time to get into the songs more and more singing. I'd never been in a band that did group vocals. It's a totally different thing. Mm-hmm. Santana was never. Mm-hmm. I did all the vocals in Santana as well. So when we got together and everybody started singing, we took lessons and all that stuff, then the decision came after we had taken some lessons. It was just before Steve. Herbie walks in and said, "You guys want to get a lead vocalist, somebody to stand in the front and just sing?" We all looked at each other and said, "Sure."
You've somewhat admitted to having been burned out during the Santana experience. This has got to be just as tough, but what's different? And is there anything built into this situation to prevent you from burning out again?
I think one of the main things, there was no management to speak of in Santana, and there definitely is here. There is concern. We've all made our mistakes, and there was definite concern on the part of our management to keep things from burning you out. We've done 9-month tours that most people just would go, "Are you crazy?" We were playing sometimes 13 different cities right in a row. And that was the Infinity Tour, and that was pretty much of a burnout, but that had to be done in order to back it off so it could be comfortable. This tour I'm doing right now is probably the most comfortable one I've ever been on. It doesn't, we've got time to play baseball, you know? See, with this team effort that we have going, we have this going on stage, behind the stage, within the stage. These are all the guys that drive truck and do our... So we got all our pals here.
Rock you on Rock World.
The focal point of most bands and seems to get more attention than the others. And just before we started this interview...
Not so true.
A little girl came up to us. She said, "Well, who are you going to interview?" We said, "We're going to interview Steve Perry." And she said, "Well, who's he?"
Right, see?
She knew it was Journey, but she didn't know which one. Does he play the guitar or does he sing? So Journey has been able to maintain that.
That's right. That's what I was saying. It's not so true. This band is a different circumstance than most groups. You'll always find 98% of the groups have a tendency to just do that. They seem to like push one person out there, or else the manager might own the singer, you know, and supply the rest of the cats. In this situation, as I said earlier, you have 5 professional, strong, independent, proficient players, and they're virtuosos in their own right.
Okay, you perform 180 nights a year. Physically, how's it different for a singer than, let's say, a drummer or a guitar player?
Guitar player gets calluses on his fingers. Well, that means he can really burn, you know. He's got some calluses. His fingers won't hurt him no more. The drummer gets some big muscles and calluses on his hands. That means his hands aren't going to get blistered anymore. A singer gets calluses on his cords. He's finished. Mm-hmm. See, so it's a complete opposite situation, and you get calluses on your cords by abuse. So I try not to abuse myself. I provide myself preventative medicine.
In that process, Steve Perry came along. Steve Perry was in L.A. with a group that was falling apart, but it had recorded material, and he just happened to send a tape to our office, to Herbie, of his performance with the group.
So I sent them a tape, and Herbie liked it, phoned me back, sent me to Denver, Colorado. And
I think it was the best times of my life. Journey was so good to me, and it was some great times. There was a point when it started to change, and my life quickly changed. I had more friends than I thought I ever would have. Some of them I didn't need, and some of them are still around, I'm glad to say. It was really an experience to see it change so fast. The Rolling Stones were very big, you know, Rolling Stones. What they didn't know was that Journey had been to Chicago many times, and Chicago was the place in America that Journey was already selling big arenas.
What was that like?
It was tough, really tough.
What'd you do?
Therapy. Went back to my hometown, went to the fair in the summertime that comes to Hanford.
It seems you might understand a little more about why Steve Perry left when you know where he came from. Hanford, California.
It was really your heart, not your head.
It was my heart. It kind of became a group decision, major surgery, and I wasn't very happy about that. So I chose to put it off and decide when to do it, and they checked out some other singers, and we went our separate ways.
Went our separate ways.
And except for a few things like the 2005 Walk of Fame ceremony, Steve Perry stayed out of sight and away from music.
You stopped singing?
I stopped singing.
Completely?
Completely, Tracy, I swear.
Were there moments where you thought, what have I done?
No.
For Friday, is Steve Perry going to be there? What would it be like for you guys to see him if he's there on Friday?
Well, he will be.
He will be there.
He's
definitely.
coming. I don't think he'll miss this. I think I know Steve, and I think he's gonna, be gracious and receive it, and he was certain. If he doesn't, I'll be disappointed.
What's going to be like for you guys?
It'll be awesome.
It'd be great, and it's been too far.
Yeah, well, he came to the Walk of Fame, the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah, he did, and it was a great experience. He was gracious and had some wonderful things to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, we expect to see him.
Yeah, we hope he's,
yeah.
As far as we know, he's coming, so.
What was that thought process like? I mean, you're at the height of your career, and to make that decision to step away as you did.
It seems like it was a brilliant thought process, but the truth is I had no choice. I was truly burned out. My emotion and my passion that I discovered for music and singing when I was about 6, 7 years old, I couldn't find it anymore. I was still singing good, but I wasn't connecting with it.
Yeah. You had to
but
do
it
that
wasn't popular back then to do this.
I
You
know.
that. Taking care of yourself wasn't the thing to do.
But you did it.
You kept rock till you drop was the thing to do,
But you're still here.
I'm still here. That's right.
That's it.